Hello, you are listening to Ultra Q episode 18. My name is Red. I am joined by Mel.
Much like NASA building telescopes in Hawaii, I also like to destroy heritage sites in the pursuit of science.
Yeah, it's my favorite pastime. Also joining me, Razan.
Hello, I'm back. I've spent the last 2 weeks labbing out Twinkle Star Sprites. Next year.
Next year, yeah. We'll see success. Coming up...
I have good news about the new Toho game.
Oh. Coming up on Ultra Q, Red King earns his fucking name. And Ultraman takes an L and then gives it back. Before any of that, though, I don't have much to say. I've been doing stuff, but things like I watched Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex Season 1. It was good. I don't really have much to say beyond it was good. But it did leave me... Really. Yeah. Yes, it is quite simple. But it did leave me with a bit of an urge for some cop shit, just like some detective story stuff. I was just like, yeah, I want to solve a mystery.
Detective Conan, baby.
Unfortunately, that's not what I picked. I made a mistake because LA Noire was on sale, and I was like, I've always been curious about whether this game is good or bad. I've heard mixed reports. I got to the first real case, and it was easy peasy. It was like, oh yeah, there's a lot of blood in this car, maybe too much for one person having been hit over the head, and also there's a receipt for a pig in the back of the car, and also the guy hates his wife and has a secret girlfriend in Seattle. And I'm like, well, okay, I know exactly what happened. And then the game's like, cool, now to show us that you know what happened, navigate the most obscure dialogue system that anyone has ever made. Also, there are fail states. Good luck. And I was like, this sucks. This is a terrible video game. And I immediately quit and went to bed. That was last night. I was just like, no, I'm done. It was terrible. I can't believe that there were like I'd heard all about the doubt stuff. I'd heard all about that, but like what happened was there's an option to like accuse something, to like demonstrate that someone hasn't told you the truth with evidence. Unfortunately, what it actually is you make a more specific accusation than that you don't know what accusation it's going to be. So when, the second case that I've been doing this morning was a guy said, oh yeah, all that was taken from the car was the tires, and he's clearly lying, and I have evidence that the license plate was taken. So I hit the accuse button to pick, the license plate was taken, and instead what happens is fucking Cole Phelps, genius, says, I know that you took the license plate. No, I don't. What are you talking about? Shut up, idiot. Terrible video game.
I will always remember LA Noire as like one of the last video games I honest to God rented back when rental shops existed.
Damn.
Because I rented it for a weekend and I got a fair bit through, and I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to buy this. And then I looked up the ending on YouTube. If I remember correctly, at least I feel like I remember seeing this. I think doubt doesn't exist anymore as it did in the original version of the game. They changed all of the prompts because too many people were like, these are
complained.
Insufferable. Yeah.
Yes. So the famously the one famous story that I know about the development of LA Noire is that everyone knows, everyone pulls it out. Oh, did you know this? When LA Noire comes up, is the one fact everyone has in their back pocket is that the original names for the truth, doubt, lie stuff were Coax, Force, and Accuse or something, and they've changed truth to good cop, and they've changed doubt to bad cop. Still, sometimes messy on which one to pick, because it's like someone's not telling the whole truth, but they're not actively trying to lie to you. And it's like, which one of these options does the game think is the correct thing to pick? Which one of these options does the game want me to pick? And it's always stupid. Bad video game. Who knew that the interrogation scenes in this game were weird and bad? Only everyone since the game has released for like a decade.
To do a... I feel like this is so like rote and like well known of a critique of this game, but I think about it all the time because I feel like it's such a good example of it. But there's an old like YouTube video essay or whatever by a YouTuber named Mr.
Slow down the violence.
Yeah, that one.
Yes.
But like, goddamn, that is such a real like. You're because it feels like you're going through like detective like police procedural like type thing, and then suddenly it's like fucking shootout, and it feels so out of place.
All right. You know what? This podcast is no longer about Ultraman. This podcast is about asking a question. Where did Mr. Beaton go? Can he come back, please? He made 10-minute video essays. I didn't always agree with him, but he made them in 10 minutes. It was really good. Where did he go?
This past week, I watched a 3-hour video of some guy going through all the Squaresoft games on PS1.
That guy got everyone on the New Vegas train, and I was like, "Oh, it's your day one, motherfuckers."
Yeah. Yeah. The only video essay guy to do the reverse started with a long video. Started with the fucking Mass Effect the Mass Effect 3 ending shit. With like a 40-minute video, immediately pivoted to making like 10, 15-minute video essays. It was amazing. It was, yeah. Come back, Mr. Beatung. You were a lib, but you read books.
Well, now that we've gone through the shandification of podcasts, Red, did you have anything else on LA Noire?
Fuck's sake. I had... no, I didn't have anything else on LA Noire, because this is a bad video game. I've played a case and a half of it. But I have been playing Dark Souls still, which, again, decade-old information. Good video game. Who knew?
Unfortunately, you can't kick down a log in Dark Souls.
No. Not like you can when you're... What was it, Garamon? The kick down the log?
The Black King or something.
Oh, damn.
I need you all to know that I listened to that while driving back from Combo Breaker, so I did not watch anything you were reacting to, but that in a way made it more funny to envision as I was driving
I just want you to know there's a moment in there where we absolutely broke, which was Black King, I believe Black King, kicking down a quote-unquote log to roll down a hill for Redman to jump over. It was a fucking stick. It was a fucking large-ish stick. It was great. Yeah, but no, Dark Souls, I'm replaying Dark Souls basically, but first time I played Dark Souls, like a decade ago, I got to Anor Londo and was like, well, where do I go now? But now with the knowledge off the internet that Anor Londo is parkour central, I did Anor Londo in like one sitting. It wasn't a big deal. It was pretty easy. Dark Souls is a pretty easy video game, I'm gonna be honest.
True.
I did Blighttown in one sitting. It doesn't stutter like shit anymore. I think it should. I think they should. I think for the remaster, they should update the remaster so that they force the frame rate down when you get to Blighttown.
Me going, I hope they don't fix the frame rate for the water dungeon in the Mega Man Legends 2 Legacy Collection.
Yeah.
Even though they did for the PS Vita.
You gotta keep the crust. It's gotta stay in the game.
Legends 2 has too much crust when I think about it.
Yeah. obviously Dark Souls is not actually a very easy video game. It's just that I've been playing From Software games now for years, so it's different. It's just a different experience now than when I was a teenager going like, oh, what is this newfangled thing? But yeah, that's all from me. I've been like watching stuff, but kind of like just watching like a bunch of different stuff at the same time. I'm not finishing anything. I'm making no progress through much at the minute. Who wants to go next?
I can go. Combo Breaker happened. I had a really good time.
Hell yeah.
Whew. Combo Breaker is one of the major North American fighting game tournaments. It takes place typically around Chicago. They've changed the venue a few times, but I think this is the third year they've been doing it in Schaumburg, Illinois at the Renaissance Center, which is a great venue. Had a wonderful time. Met up with my friend Jake again, who longtime internet friend who I happened to like. He'd spent like a weekend at my place a few weeks back or whatever. Met up with him again. Met my friend Johnson for the first time in real life. Met my friend Matt for the first time in real life. Met friend of the show, Lagrange Point Press. We hung out for a bit.
Nice.
We played Bishy Bashy together. Wonderful game. Look it up. Met a lot of people. Had a good time. Took a photo with Tasty Steve and Say Jam. I can't get over the thing where I just assume everyone I see on like a YouTube video or on the internet is taller than me. And then in real life, it's like, oh, they're not. This is weird. They're just a person. I was in the audience for Will It Kill Live. I'm in that video in the background. That's fun. Went positive in that.
Nice.
Good thing I did in that because I went 0-2 in almost everything I signed up for.
Rip.
Yeah.
Rip.
I'm not too upset considering the things I signed up for are some of the more like niche games that are, you know, a little bit older and more dedicated at this point. And like, if you haven't been keeping up, like the chances were pretty high I was going to go 0-2. And my friends were telling me that, like, especially considering the amount of time I have available for me to like honestly practice at this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like I gave Marvel my best shot and I actually poured like hours into it. And I went 0-2 hard. But considering that's like a 10-year-old game that people have just not stopped playing for, you know, a lot of the people attending tournaments and stuff, I still was pretty happy with my performance. And then, you know, playing casual matches between like the actual like tournament matches and all that too. Like I did pretty solid for where I wanted to be against people. And also too, like it's just kind of fun playing with people and being like, oh yeah, I went 0-2. And they're like, well, I didn't even sign up in the first place because I was not confident in my ability. And it's like, you know. Everything's, you know, going 0-2 is one thing, but also realizing like, hey, this, like, I'm still doing pretty solid in the grand scheme of things. Some people are just like, I'm not even gonna bother. Was nice. The one tournament game I did win was in Guilty Gear Strive, where I went 1-2. I will always remember that match because I asked for a button check beforehand. Or actually, no, sorry, I didn't ask for a button check, but I did rigorously, like, in the character select, set my buttons, and then only once I was halfway through the first match realized that 2 of my buttons were swapped, and I won anyways. So,
Nice.
That was a good time. I probably could have said something and stopped the match, but I was like, this is the one game I did not care about at all. Again, Strive was the game that I signed up for before going like, fuck it, I think I want to replace that with Marvel. And then it was too late to take me out of Strive without contacting someone. And I'm just like, I don't feel like sending someone an email and having them, you know, figure that out. So,
Who do you play in Strive again?
Ram.
Oh, okay.
So,
Villain. Sorry.
True. Hey, I'm not a happy Chaos player, so.
All right.
I'm officially cool now. That was interesting. And again, that wasn't a thing where, like, everything else I signed up for, like Under Night, Melty, Marvel, that's like a pool of about give or take 200 people. The Strive bracket was a little over 1,000. So just statistically, I have a much higher chance of doing better at that one. So yeah, I achieved my very, very minimum goal of not going 0-2 and everything, but even then, even if I did, I feel like I still wouldn't have been too beat up because, like, again, killers show up for these things. And even playing, like, casual matches with people, you could tell, like, oh, everyone's fucking here to be in it. And overall, I'm pretty happy with where I'm stacked up in regards to the competition there. But yeah, just a little bit about Combo Breaker, though. Great time, fantastic setup. The thing that I've constantly heard from people, like, really involved with the tournament scene and, like, the fighting game stuff and, like, regularly travel for these things is that EVO is, like, the big prestigious event that gets all the press attention and everything like that. Low-key on the community side, though, Combo Breaker's kind of the one everyone looks forward to every year. It's just much more of a celebration party-type feeling. There are casual setups for every game you can think of just out and about. They have a bunch of arcade machines hauled in. And I got to play, like, Vampire Savior and Street Fighter Alpha with a bunch of people, and that was all cool. They had M-Bon arcade machines there, but they're all running fucking Tekken, which pissed me off so bad. It's like, it's right there. I see the marquee.
I think I saw complaints about how, like, Tekken players took a bunch of stations on Twitter, just like, damn, what the fuck's the problem?
Damn.
As
expected, they got that extra dimension of movement, gives them an advantage.
True.
It is as expected with the Mishima Zaibatsu, obviously.
Oh my god, I need to talk about this one fucking guy. So my friend Jake is a pretty solid Tekken player. Like, he got out of pools. I think he got, like, top 128 in the Tekken tournament. But he got his free Chipotle because they're doing that for everyone who got out of pools. And when we were playing, I can't remember at what point, but there were multiple times throughout the weekend where it's like, oh, I need to find where Jake is so we can meet up and, like, go do something. And, like, oh, he's over by the Tekken setups playing casuals. And this one guy who he was playing against was like, oh, are you looking to hop on? I was like, oh, no, man, I don't really play Tekken. He was like, you should. And he was like giving me the hard pitch, and I'm like, oh, this is my friend here. He's and, you know, Jake showed me a little bit of Tekken stuff before, and I'm like, yeah, I think 8, I'll really give it a go. But at the end of every, like, major tournament, they've been revealing a new Tekken 8 character. This guy was playing Brian Fury, and his girlfriend was like, oh, the character leaked, and he was like, don't tell me who it is. I don't want to know who it is. I want to be here live and see who the character is.
Oh my God.
And me and Jake just looked at each other because earlier in the day we had both seen the leak, and we were just like, oh, this guy's gonna fucking lose it when he sees that it's his main.
Nice.
That was fun. I hope he freaked out and had a good time. But yeah, I don't have too much else to say other than if you enjoy fighting games, I do feel like Combo Breaker is a wonderful time, and I think it's worth going out and doing it. I want to try doing it next year. I think 2024 is going to be my tournament run. I want to save up and maybe try to go to Frosty Faustein's, which is also in Illinois and is more of like a dedicated, like, anime fighter tournament. It's smaller. It's not really like a major, but at least I don't think it qualifies as well. I don't know. That term is loosely defined anyways, I think. But
I saw the Will It Kill on YouTube, and there are way more masks at Combo Breaker than I was expecting. So
it was mandated. They were,
okay, yeah.
If you didn't have it on, staff was telling you, like, hey, fucking get out or put one on.
All right,
and also,
cool.
if you need one, we have them. So
nice.
Yeah. It was a magical experience. I, again, highly recommend. Other thing, too, is that 30 minutes away from the venue, they have Galloping Ghost Arcade, which was a wonderful time. People who like arcade games have probably heard of this before, because I think it's the largest arcade in the States. If not, their selection is just very impressive. This fucking building is stacked with arcade machines to the point that actually walking around is kind of a nuisance, and, like, you can't really walk past someone in the alleys that they have set up between the machines because there's just not enough room. But yeah, if you ever, like, want to fucking play, like, Radiant Silvergun, Ikaruga,
Yes.
Rumblefish 2, the Silent Hill light gun game, and then beyond the curtain for that is the Castlevania light gun / whip game.
What?
Yes.
What?
There's a Castlevania light gun game.
Look this up. What the fuck?
The first level ends with you fighting death while Bloody Tears plays before you enter Dracula's castle. It fucking rules. Sorry, it whips. Badooch.
God damn it.
Yeah. Galloping Ghost, also a wonderful time, and I think is worth carving time out of your combo breaker visit to go do that as well. Especially if you like shmups, they have a dedicated like shmup corner that is just incredible.
I need to see that one day.
It's really cool. I took copious amounts of video of my combo breaker journey, and I want to put together some like vlog type stuff that I just need to cut through and edit everything together. But yeah, unforgettable weekend. Next year I'm hoping to do Frosty Faustines. We'll see, weather permitting. It's like a 3-hour drive for me to like both there and combo breaker. It's kind of in the same-ish area, not too far away. And Frosty Faustines just happens to, as its name suggests, be in winter, so if the roads are good, I'll try to make it down. And then I want to do Combo Breaker again, and I think next year I'm going to try doing Evo, just because I feel like you got to do one Evo if you care enough to go out to tournaments and stuff, right? But also that's like a plane ticket and like Vegas hotels, and like I don't know if I want to save up for that yet. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tournaments are fun.
Yeah, I should go to one at some point. In like later this month, UMAD is happening, and I could theoretically go to that, but also it might be late for me to like book a hotel or anything. But I could also just make it a day trip and drive there, because it's like 2 hours away from my place. So
this is just one of those like moments in life where you're like, oh, I'm fucking here in this moment. But when I was getting my stupid fucking electronic hotel key thing to like work, when I had finally driven in, I was just fiddling with it, and just through the faint walls, like the thin walls of the hotel, I just hear the sound of like Kazuya and Lucky Chloe fighting in the other room. And I'm like, yep, I'm here for the video game event. It was funny. But yeah, other than that, Street Fighter 6 is out. Street Fighter 6 has been out for about 60 hours. I have 15 hours in Street Fighter 6.
I wish I could play Street Fighter 6, even though I do own it.
It's really good.
I do not own it, but I should.
It's really good. I'm having a wonderful time learning Cammy.
I need to get back to my place, which has the PS4, and is actually within driving distance of Montreal. Not like my parents' place, which is extremely not within driving distance.
Street Fighter 4 looks really good. My issue is my internet is very bad right now. So I need to. There's like a something you can plug into the mains that is an alternative to Ethernet, but my landlord's weird, so I can't just run an Ethernet cable.
Yeah, you can just do what I did and randomly message Razin last night being like, hey, can we play Third Strike, because I can't play Street Fighter 6.
Lol.
That was a fun time.
It was fun. Except for Hugo. I'm not a fan.
Just don't get grabbed.
It's very simple. You just don't get hit ever.
It's okay, because that's what I was feeling fighting against my friend Jake's Manon, which was just like, oh god, I just keep getting grabbed, and when she grabs people, her grabs get stronger over the course of both rounds. It's wild. Honestly, that is the one thing I will say about Street Fighter 6, is that I feel like Capcom intentionally made this game to the point that everyone's game plan is very strong, and you can see how it's supposed to get rolling and what you're supposed to do. And once you get it rolling, it feels great. But for the other player, it never feels insurmountable, and like you can't get your own shit going.
Mm-hmm.
It's resulted in a very, very exciting and fun back and forth that just, even when I'm getting my ass kicked in this game, I always feel like, fuck, like if I had just done the other like few things I know to do, I could have maybe turned the tide here. Very satisfying video game. I cannot stop playing it. I think after we're done here, I might start streaming World Tour, because I haven't even fucked with that at all yet. I went through everyone, well, not everyone, but I went through a good amount of the cast arcade modes. and they're so bare bones, and like they're fine. But I feel like they're like, oh, play the actual dedicated story mode, dummy, if you want to know anything. Like Ken starts and is like, oh no, Ken's been framed as a terrorist now. And then Ken finds JP and he's like, why did you make me look like a terrorist? And then they fight and then Ken's like, damn, he got away. Credits.
Right. Did I see this right? Is there an official comic where Ken is a crypto guy who did an IMF in a country?
Yes.
What's going on?
He got like set up to fund terrorism, basically. And cancel culture strikes again for poor old Ken Masters.
Oh my god.
It's a fun time. I still don't know yet who I want to main. I've been spending most of my time with Cammy, but also Manon is just so much fun. And I think I might try spending some time with her.
I'm curious to see who I'll end up maining. Or maybe I'll just wait for Karen to show up in the game.
It's cool how much love they seem to have for every single character. I participate. There's a Discord I'm in called Trans Fights, which is just like an LGBTQ dedicated space for fighting game players. Cool spot. Look it up. There's you can find it easily on Twitter, and they'll there's just like an open invite link, like anyone can join this.
Oh, cool spot, like the 7-Up mascot.
True. I don't know why, but like every time I think about Cool Spot, I fucking think of the fucking Noid instead. But they had a day 2 tournament last night that I got 3rd place in, which was pretty cool. And the person who got 2nd, who sent me into losers bracket, was playing Blanca. And Blanca Ball is terrifying in this game. I still don't know what the hell I'm supposed to do other than parry it, but then like you can't really do anything after because he just flies backwards again. The only option I found is you jump over it and hope they're close enough that you can punish after, but otherwise, like, Blanca's real weaselly. DJ is cool as hell in this game. They gave him like a bunch of feints and stuff to bait people into attacking, and then he just beats the shit out of you. Everyone is so cool.
So wait, are you telling me that in this game DJ is Slayer?
I don't think I wouldn't say it's that far, but he has some trickiness to him that's definitely like in that realm. They gave him a super that is like rhythm based, kind of like Rise's from Persona 4 Arena, and like a few other games have stuff like that, where if you want to max out the damage, you have to like time it to a rhythm. Everyone's so cool. I'm so happy with Street Fighter 6. I considering what the Steam like player base count is looking like for this game, and also just even talking with people on the floor at Combo Breaker, there's a bunch of people that are like, yo, this seems bigger than last year. Like I talked to a lot of people and was like, yeah, this is my first tournament. I like fighting games for a bit, but I haven't gotten out to one of these things. Towards the end of the weekend, as I was talking to new people and like explaining that, they're like, I'm hearing that a lot this weekend. This is a lot of people's first tournament. I think fighting games are having a moment right now, and I want to be on the ground floor of it. I think this is my time to double down on this hobby that I've passively liked for about like 10 years of my life now. I think this is my time to like make this a main thing for me. So I'm excited.
I tweeted about it. I told Mel about it. I'm gonna main Jury and pretend I've never heard of a foot fetish in my life.
That's my friend Trick.
I'm gonna. What's gonna happen is someone's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, you into feet?" I was like, I'm gonna make them explain in detail. I'm gonna be like, "What do you mean?" And then they're gonna explain. I'm gonna be like, "I don't know, man. I don't see it. But listen, you do you."
Yeah, my friend Trick had a tweet a few weeks back, and he's like, being a jury main for various Street Fighter entries and not liking her feet has been so tough. And I quote retweeted, and I was like, "We're like world's strongest jury fan" or something.
Tougher than the Marines.
Actually, there are in-game clubs that are like basically little guilds you can join just to like easily match with people that are in the same thing, kind of have like same interests and stuff. Last time I checked, one of the top 3 most popular clubs at launch for that game was called like Manone's Feet Appreciators or something.
Nice.
So
It's Jover.
move over, Jerry. There's new feet in town.
I you watch anime, you get used to it.
Yeah.
It's fucking everywhere. All right. Well, on that note, did you have anything else, Resin?
No.
Mel,
what you been up to? I hear you have a surprise.
Yeah. Well, it's not really meant to be a surprise. It's more like I just like keeping things in my pocket until I realize.
Okay. Yeah, what happened was Mel told me she had something that was a surprise, and I was like, I'm gonna sneakily try to figure out what the surprise is. And then she said, I tweeted about it a week ago and attempted to scroll down a week on her timeline. Didn't work. Too many retweets.
Damn.
Did not succeed. Pro stress. I was foiled.
But yeah, so last week, in the past week, I finished a show that I can't remember what it's a show that like I knew about for a while and wanted to watch for a while, and friends really liked, but like it was one of those things that kept getting away, and like I never got around to it. But then, for various reasons, this other show that I'm watching, which I'll talk about at a future date, got me thinking, oh yeah, I should watch this other show that I meant to watch for a long time because I am reminded of it. So anyway, last week I finished the 2013 Tatsunoko anime Gatchaman Crowds.
Oh, hey. Yeah. I've heard of that. I've seen an OP.
It's a good OP.
Yeah.
Good ED
I know
too.
of Gatchaman, but I do not know what it is about.
I suspect if you know of Gatchaman, you know less about Gatchaman Crowds.
To be honest, yes.
Which I think is very different.
Yeah. Like, Gatchaman is like a 70s anime about like some guys who are in bird superhero costumes and fight evil or something.
Mm-hmm. They're like Sentai colors, right?
Yeah, I think it predates Sentai though.
Oh,
Gatchaman's the one
yes,
with like
I've heard
the
of that.
visor, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure if you have glanced at Tatsunoko versus Capcom, you've seen a Gatchaman.
That's how basically all of my knowledge of Gatchaman comes from that game.
And Gatchaman Crowds is like a reboot of like, what if the modern day with the social media, and instead of being like a Sentai team, it's just like some weirdos in an underground hero organization kind of thing.
yeah.
And
before you describe the rest of it, I do just want to say the full title of the original Gatchaman, which is
yes, do actually do that.
Science Ninja Team Gatchaman.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
This era, like late 60s, early 70s, which is I'm assuming I'm pretty sure that's when Gatchaman came out of. Fucking science was like everywhere in titles for shit.
We'll get into that in this episode.
Yeah. Well,
But yeah,
tell us more about Gatchaman Crowds.
Yeah, so it's basically a Toko show, to be honest. Kind of. Well, first of all, they can transform into this.
Oh, these look cool.
Are they birds? Debatable. But they are pretty cool. It's about like...
He's got fire coming out of his head. Damn.
Yeah. His name is Joe, and he's cool. I'm speaking a lot literally.
That girl in the middle looks like she's modeling some fucking limited edition Nikes. Holy shit.
She's the main character, right?
Yeah, that's Hajime, the protagonist. So the story is the Gatchaman are like this underground group that's like fighting these weird cube things called the Mess, which are disappearing people. And then Hajime is like the protagonist. She's like the gung-ho Genki girl who just like doesn't understand why the Gatchaman have these like secret society full of orders rules where they're just like, oh, hey, there's this guy from like, there's this really old guy from another planet, and we just listen to him, even though he doesn't actually say anything. And we have to, there's like all these like ritual and like respect, etc., etc. And she just like doesn't give a shit and does what she wants.
Mm-hmm.
And then she resolves the conflict with the mess in like the first episode by just being nice to them, and then the problem is just solved for the rest of the anime. And the rest of the anime is actually about something else entirely.
Okay. Hello, Editor Red here. Just stopping by to let you know we kinda spoil a lot of Gatchaman Crowds Season 1. And if you don't want to hear that, spoilers end around 50 minutes.
There's a social media app called Galax, which is like not just, it's like a social networking, but also like a thing that gamifies like helping people. So it sort of like connects people, and then like people like, oh man, there's an issue, let's all collaboratively work together to go fix the problem. When it comes with, and it's like popular, but also I guess it has its issues as the conflict of the show goes into. It's created by someone who goes by the name Load Galax, whose real name is Ryu, who is maybe a trans girl. I don't know. The show is about some of the stuff. I'm not entirely sure what they're doing, because it's like, it doesn't seem to question it at all, but also like it seems accepting of it, but also doesn't use the pronouns necessarily. Also, there's a character called OD who's like the secret strongest Gatchaman and doesn't reveal his powers until like the last episode, but also he is a walking gay stereotype which is weird sometimes. I don't know. The show's weird. And then like basically,
oh no, go ahead.
Yeah, there's like an evil Gatchaman called I don't know. Maybe I think there's an evil one voiced by Mamoru Miyano, who's also got weird gay vibes going on, and he's just like, I am the Joker, and I'm going to cause chaos because. And so there's this whole thing of like, Ryu is like, oh man, this Galax app is going to be the revolution, the peaceful revolution, and then some people are like, that's stupid. You can't have a peaceful revolution.
I love to make a revolution with an app. I love to do that. What year did this come out again?
What?
What year did this come out again?
2013.
Yeah, sounds like extremely 2013.
Yeah.
Anyway.
As someone who went to school for like social media stuff and had professors that would not stop talking about Arab Spring and how social media was going to revolutionize the world's political landscape in the most like technocratic way possible, I feel like I'd get a kick out of this show.
Yeah. So basically, there's people like Ryu has like an inner circle where they're like, we're going to create a revolution, but only like they have like a deal of the devil with the evil Gatchaman who's just yeah, this person sucks and wants to be the Joker and destroy society, but thanks to him I have this power called the Crowds, which lets me summon eyeball creatures who are like basically stands that can like do stuff for people, and I can grant those powers to other people on the app, and only the people who I think are good for the revolution will do it. But then there are people who are like, well, a peaceful revolution is dumb, but also the show presents those people as like, in the most like, oh man, I want to tear down the system, it's bad, and in the negative light way. And then unfortunately evil Gatchaman Mamoru is like, I should probably look up his name, Jesus Christ, whatever. I
mean, knowing that it's Mamoru Miyano tells me more.
Yeah.
About him. On the one hand, this sounds, it sounds simultaneously a little bit stupid, but also like Mamoru Miyano playing a vaguely gay Joker does sound amazing.
Yeah, he's pretty funny. He ends up like, he has this thing where he can like he kisses people and then he takes their form and then does crimes.
Yo, let's go.
And then at some point he does that to Ryu, except instead of like doing the crimes, he just takes over the system.
What a guy. Love him.
And meanwhile, like, Hajime is just like, you know, could you imagine if, like, what if superheroes, you know, were transparent and communicated with people directly? maybe we could solve problems that way. And that she just does it and drags everyone else along with her. And it kind of just helps everyone get out of their fucking bullshit, because she's just like, damn, just relax. I mean, just
this is how to solve anime. Walk in, just like could you?
She's like the most anti in a way character. She's like, why don't you just say things to people? Basically, like, I don't know. She's delightful.
Perfect.
And like, she's paired up with like Sugune, who is clearly everyone calls her rookie, but like Sugune is clearly the one who was rookie before she showed up, and is feeling very good about no longer being a rookie in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like he's like this, he's got like a katana he carries around, and is like very by the book, but he's very much, you know, much like everyone else, everyone gets dragged out of their bullshit because Hajime is just like,
sorry, he's Klein from Sword Art Online. Sorry. I didn't mean to do that to the anime that you kind of liked.
Yeah. Listen, we know people who are big on Klein. It's okay.
This is true.
Yeah. I feel like my description of the show is very messy, but that's because you know what? The show is also kind of messy. I think it's spinning a lot of plates. Hajime, I think, also is, some of her attitude is questionable, because her attitude is like, damn, you think cyberbullying is real? You could just turn off your phone.
Yeah.
Something.
I would
Oshino
simply
code,
log off.
anyway.
Yes. Eventually, I will actually watch that movie. The opening, the whole 90-minute first episode of Oshinoko.
Yeah.
I still have yet to do it.
I feel like you would be happier reading it.
All I know is the Getter people are having a great time with that OP.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been liking Oshinoko. And I also watched Gatchaman Crowds. But yeah, there's like, the show kind of ends up becoming about a sort of like the interactions between Ryu and the Gatchaman, specifically Hajime, and they're like, well, this is all, the stuff with the crowds is all related to the Gatchaman stuff, because it's technically Gatchaman powers, and like, Ryu is like, we don't need like individual superheroes, because we can have, with the crowds, we can have the collective as heroes. Which, you know, I think you can do arguments of like how superheroes through the lens of individualism, etc.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the shit hits the fan when Mamoru takes over and is like, I'm going to give the crowds to the people who break shit. Who are like, just like, oh, we're going to do revolution, but like in the angry way, where we destroy the diet building, and, you know, that's it.
How many shots are there in this show of angry crowds with protest signs?
I think there's a few.
Okay.
There's definitely.
Can we edit see Destiny protests in?
There's a extremely guy wearing a mask on stream talk about destroying the order.
Yes.
And then the show kind of does
with logos.
the show does kind of turn into well, they do protect the prime minister from being killed by the crowds, and then kind of work with like first responders and the military a bit, I guess, to like stabilize things, because like the Gatchaman kind of just like introduce themselves to the public, but Hachime's like, yeah, let's just go to a preschool and introduce ourselves, and then the press will be here.
Damn, they protected the prime minister from assassination. It's not very realistic.
Yeah. And then in the end, I guess I'll kind of reveal the solution ends up being that Ryu's like, what if I just gave the crowds to everyone, and then everyone will collectively come together and solve the problems, and it does. And then the Prime Minister is like, I have a new appreciation of the people's will and democracy, and that's why Galax is how I get the will of the people. And so, I don't know, I feel like I'm messing things up a bit, but...
that's fine. You're trying to summarize a whole anime. Don't worry about it.
I mean, maybe spoilers, by the way. I guess I'm just spoiling this shit.
Yeah, we'll just tack on a spoiler warning at the beginning.
I guess, in contrast to when Red described Princess Principal as monarcho-liberalism, I would argue that maybe Gatchaman Crowds is somehow anarcho-liberalism.
Yes. Stupid. Fuck. Anime has such genius politics sometimes.
It's like I can see like there's like the anarchist like collective coming together, solving problems that way through spontaneity kind of thing, but it's also quite liberal in a lot of ways, especially with its approach to revolution and stuff.
Love it.
I did kind of like how like Hajime sort of like dealt with the issue of the villain, which I mean, I don't know, should I spoil it? I guess I'm already spoiling everything.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I will literally tack a spoiler warning at the beginning. Don't worry. She's
just like friendly with the villain the entire time, and then she's like, "Hey, let's go on a date," and then they go meet in the public, and she's just like does something when he tries to attack her, where she just like absorbs him into himself, and he's like, "Well, now you're in my body now, and now we're friends forever." And he's like, "This fucking sucks."
That's kind of fucked up.
I dig it though. It's like an interesting way for a character to go. Just like carrying the burden of this awful person and still being like, well, I'm doing this out of love for you, even though I can't forgive you for your crimes, kind of thing. I think she's the highlight of the show. She's just really good, I think, as a protagonist.
That's what I hear.
It is. There's a lot of, if the messiness of the show wasn't clear from me talking about it, there were a few other things I had that made the experience weirder. One, there's an episode 13, which is like an OVA they released like a few months later, which is like expands on the ending in important ways, which includes the scene where she does the thing, which was only implied in like the TV ending. Mm-hmm. So basically, it's required viewing. It's like that's the actual ending of the show, because like half of it is like reused clips from episode 12, and half of it is like, yeah, here's just like the scenes that you need for additional context for the ending. And two, this is less to do with the show itself and more the fucking people who made the fucking torrent I got. Can you not misnumber episode 11 and episode 12? So I watched them out of order.
Oh, that's bad.
I've like watched episode quote unquote 11. It was like, oh, the show has 13 episodes. I thought it was supposed to continue. What's up with that? And then I watched episode 12, and it was like, oh, it's why. To be fair, the episode, like the penultimate episode of the TV run, which was episode 11, which I saw as episode 12, was like mostly a clip show that was just like all the characters being like, well, this is how Hajime changed our lives, and then like a few events that I guess set things up for episode 12, but somehow I didn't notice, which I don't know if this is saying something about how I watched the show versus how the show was presented, but anyway, I guess it worked out. ? I don't know.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, I don't know. This is a weird show. I feel like I'm good on it, mostly, but also it's weird. I'll get to season 2 eventually, but I think I'm going to wait a bit.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah.
I
do like this guy with fire coming out of his head.
Yeah, I like these designs. They're cool.
Yeah, there's a few more of them. Like there's their mascot, their leader is like a mascot panda guy, and he turns into a fucking. He's a fucking giant wheels. Oh my god!
Okay, victory gun.
Fuck off.
One brain cell when I hear the word wheel.
Don't make me do victory for the outro again.
Yeah,
I will.
There's 2 endings for a reason, Red.
I didn't use the ending last time. I used the insert song, so
you're right.
I've got 2 more in me.
There you go.
Yeah.
Pie Man.
I like the dichotomy here of one of these looks like a line sticker and the other looks like a mid 2010 Sunrise like mecha anime grunt suit.
Yeah, I just think it's cool that he has fucking wheels.
That is wheels and wings.
Yeah,
Got all bases covered.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, I guess one could say that was Gatchaman Crowds. I don't know what it's trying to do with queer gender stuff, because I think it's trying to do something, and maybe season 2 will get more into that. I hear like mixed things about it, because I hear some people say season 2 is like addresses some of maybe the like naivety of the first season and like digs into some of the consequences of that, and so it's like kind of like an important companion / continuation that's like necessary. I've also heard other people say that season 1 is all they needed and season 2 was not necessary and was bad actually, and so who knows.
Are you saying the crowds are divided?
Complex. The crowds are divided.
Yeah, this is the fundamental flaw of anarcho-liberalism.
Damn. Well,
Yeah,
that was Gatchaman Crowds.
yeah. I guess other than that, yeah, as you alluded to, Oshino is something I've been enjoying. I've been watching it. Maybe the manga is better, but right now I'm watching it and enjoying it, and it is somehow more normal ? Than the movie would have suggested.
Yeah, once it gets going, it's like, oh, this is its own thing.
Yeah, it does feel like, you didn't have to do the alienating premise. I respect it more in hindsight, but you didn't have to do this if you're just going to do this other thing.
I have seen clips of the author interacting with Niji-sanji VTubers. I'm going to go out on a limb and say I do think he felt like he had to do something weird and alienating.
Yeah.
Shout outs to every fucking VTuber under the sun doing really good covers of the Yoasobi song.
Bonus points
Nice.
if they're also doing the Jam Project song.
Yeah. It's such fucking good transition.
Yeah, they also did a recap in the past week, which was like, for whatever reason I watched it. But like, I don't have much to say about it, but I just think it might be more interesting if instead of just basic after recaps, people use recaps as an excuse to have casts do commentary on the work that they're doing. Which is what this one did, and I thought that was kind of neat.
Like the cast, like the
they got
voice
like
actors and
they got the
stuff,
voice actor for Aqua and Ruby to do just some talking about like what they thought about like their roles, what they're trying to do for different scenes, what they thought about other characters, etc. And it's all like,
I know G-Witch had a thing like that, but then they didn't like sub it or anything, which I was like, oh damn, I wish I'd seen that.
Yeah, there's like a radio show for G-Witch where like Soletta and Miorne's voice actors talk about stuff like that. So I think that stuff's cool. I think it's kind of cool and fitting for like this kind of show that they did it. I think my one quibble, I think, is that I feel like despite, and maybe it makes sense because like Aqua is clearly presented as like the protagonist, but also I feel like Ruby is kind of presented as like having double billing by being the twin, and in a lot of ways she kind of feels out of focus.
I have my suspicion that that's being set up for her to take on more of a central role later on.
Okay.
But also I don't have much to go off of.
Yeah. I want to see where it
yeah.
goes, because at the moment I kind of just felt like, in the past few weeks it feels like Aqua is doing his arc with like the dating show or whatever, and meanwhile every once in a while it'll cut to Kana and Ruby in a room, and then Kana talks about the industry, and then there's like, well, okay, we're done here. Do enjoy Kana, who like in the movie is like the incredibly bratty child actor, and then like you cut to the main series where you have the time curve, and it's like, oh, I grew up and I'm normal now. I'm just cool and fine, and everyone else is weirdo actually, and I have to put up with all of you.
Did they?
I got the weird out of me early. I'm done with that.
I'm gonna leave this vague just to be safe. But did they get to the slap yet?
There is a slap that did happen, and
that has consequences.
Has consequences where, unlike what Hajime says, cyberbullying, you cannot turn off your phone.
Yeah. I love that scene so much because it's just that thing of like having any like in the situation that I am in because of the multimedia lens that my life is now being seen through. Doing anything at all is better than being boring and mundane.
Yeah.
And then realizing, oh god, maybe I don't want the entire world to fucking hate me. Just for the sake of being noteworthy is so tragic. I feel so bad for her.
It is a shame because, I feel like since we're touching on it, we won't get into specifics, but this arc did get controversial because parallels to a real life event, and then people close to the person that it mirrored were upset for legitimate reasons, I think. But also, I don't know, it's complicated.
And it's absolute. I've seen some people too being like, oh, it's. I've seen some people try to be like, oh, it's not about that. It's 100% commentating on that specific thing.
Yeah.
It is wild to assume otherwise. There is a 1-to-1 real life parallel with things that have happened in the entertainment industry, and it's ridiculous to assume otherwise.
Yeah.
Much like I've heard people commentate that or say that the arc that's about that manga adaptation is about a live action adaptation of the author's own work that he maybe had some feelings about. It's very interesting seeing all of these arcs kind of be used for commentary about the creative process and how complicated that can get and how it can fall apart in messy ways all the way through. It's just cool seeing a creator be able to have a platform to kind of express these feelings while also using it to explore different character arcs and stuff like that.
Yeah. I will just, still leaving things vague, but the show left us off at an interesting cliffhanger that just left me damn, if you're good enough at acting, I guess you just become an idol new type, I guess, question mark. And I hope Raza knows what I'm talking about. But
yeah.
Anyway. But yeah, it's the only thing I'm watching seasonally besides Gundam and Golf Gundam.
Golf Gundam.
Yeah.
I hate
better than Gundam.
I hate to be Gundam is crazy good this week, guy, but goddamn, last episode was good.
Yeah, I heard it was good. I also heard that something happened and I was spoiled on it, and I don't feel like watching the episode right now.
Fucking G-Witch fans every time.
Twitter, yeah, people on Twitter, they gotta fucking chill. They don't know how to do it.
Well, it's not just Twitter. Apparently the subreddit was okay, we can't talk. You have to only talk about it in the specific thread spoiler thread we have for it, and fucking people went ballistic, and it's well, they would have made this fucking rule if you people could be normal for 24 hours.
The internet, if everyone adopted abnormal mapping surfer Gundam spoiler rules.
It would be good. Unfortunately, it's been very frustrating because I remember a time when this was not as much of an issue. I don't know why. Twitter was around. I'm not saying that no one got spoiled when I'm trying to think of an example, but I can't. But there's big shows that come out that I don't feel were as bad as this. I don't know why it's all the time now.
And also,
you gotta watch the episode within 10 seconds of it coming out. Otherwise, you're gonna see everything.
It's I am someone who often historically I've never really cared about spoilers, and often too I've found spoiler culture sometimes gets in the way of people being able to talk about things. But that being said, Jesus Christ, people, Rot 13 exists. It is ridiculous how fast people jump on post.
I was spoiled because someone was oh, hey, here is a screenshot of thing related to the end of the episode. And I was like, well, thanks.
It's just, yeah, it's just not nice.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Instead of watching G-Witch this morning, I watched the new Hero Sky Precure, and I am happy that Cure Butterfly is real. Nagaha is the best character in the show.
Oh, actually, on that note too, I feel like you two would be happy to know going off.
Let's go.
2 weeks ago, I talked about becoming the Boruto is crazy good this week guy. At Combo Breaker, I met Johnson's friends Austin, and we spent like half of our time together just ironically going, Boruto is crazy good this week anytime anything happened.
Oh, nice.
That was maybe less exciting for you all than it was for me, but I had a really good time.
No. I found out that Sasuke, he befriended that Velociraptor in the end.
What?
And they fought other dinosaurs together.
Also, someone else told me I think they're doing a time skip in Boruto now.
Oh damn!
I think or something. I don't know. I feel like every time I hear about Boruto, I don't know if it's real.
I wonder if it will be as inconsequential as the Naruto time skip.
No, it wasn't inconsequential. He needed a reason to simplify the character design, so he did fucking die every week.
I'll be fair to the guy. Absolutely.
I still love how he gave Sasuke that really cool redesign. He's like, I'm not doing this every fucking week. Fuck all those straps. And then he made him simple again.
Yes.
Nomura could never.
No, never.
Except I guess maybe he designed Jack Ireland.
I need to play that game.
I need to too.
As the Final Fantasy 1 fan I am, I cannot wait to dive into that game.
I should probably play FF1 before I get to it.
Seeing everything about Final Fantasy 16 and knowing that it's any kind of PC release is a ways off yet, I'm just like, well, obviously I'm not touching this action game on the PlayStation 5 controller, so I guess I can just play. Oh no, that's right. Fucking Dragon's Dogma 2 got announced. We skipped the most important thing, which is that
technically got announced months ago.
Yeah, but I mean, it got like a trailer.
Yeah.
It got like, it's real. It's happening.
I need to beat the first game so bad.
Yeah, I was, because I played a little bit of it a year ago and was like, I should get back to this at some point. So I now actually have like proper urge. I have to play the game. I have to play Dragon's Dogma.
I bought the original game on PS3 when it came out. Didn't get very.
Oh, so
far
you still have Into Free?
I did. I sold that one and got Dark Arisen when it came out, not knowing the pain I was suffering when I got to the main. I did not know, and then I got on the main menu and I was like, "Where's the fucking song?" I was so sad.
Song? Also,
the Berserk DLC is not in that version. Crime.
Damn.
But basically this is going to be a long-winded way of saying I have bought so many re-releases of Dark Arisen being like, this is going to be the one, and then I get like 10 hours in, and then for whatever reason I just happen to fall off, and not because of the game. The game is incredible every single time I play it and every build I try out. It's just like, for whatever reason something happens, and like, RPGs are long, but as they say, goblins ill like fire.
Yeah, it's
or
just
my favorite
open world fantasy JRPG where you can do a fucking Devil May Cry stinger right off the fucking jump.
Yeah. Some of those moves are just called Devil May Cry moves, which is very funny to me. I also my favorite will always be on my last playthrough. Every time my pawn saw a harpy, she would go, "Is that a woman?" And I don't know why, but that one stuck in my brain.
I'm always saying this. All right. Well, unless we have anything else, we took 2 weeks off, so naturally we're over an hour in. Should we talk about Ultraman?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fuji is back to being disrespected.
Fuji is back to being disrespected.
It's
but
I don't know if we're gonna actually get a good Fuji art, gang. I think it's Jehovah.
Yeah.
The worst part
I
is
don't
this
think
was
it's happening.
directed by the same person who directed the Fuji Respect episode.
That's really funny. On the plus side, we have the return of a true king. Episode 25, The Mystery Comet Suifon. Okay, so I'm going to do some heavy editorializing in the first section of this episode, because it doesn't matter. There's a comet called Suifon that is due to pass dangerously close to Earth, and the SSSP are preparing for the worst. Ide remembers that 6 nukes went missing recently from an underwater base. How did they go missing? Well, they were probably eaten by a kaiju. I don't know why that's probable. Anyway, the radioactive rays emitted by the comet might blow up the nukes, and so Ide, Arashi, and Hayata are searching for nukes in the VTOL using a nuke detector because Ide is just Bulma. They find nothing. The comet passes by, and the boys land the VTOL and are just like, oh man, isn't the Earth beautiful? Like, while standing among the snow in the mountains. Then a giant Yeti kaiju appears over the snow-covered mountains, and a giant flying pinstripe kaiju lands from space, and they start fighting.
Red fight.
Yes, red fight. This has something to do with the comet, maybe. Now, this episode might sound bad so far, but don't worry, everything is about to change. Ide's instruments spark, and we hear a signature roar, and Red King erupts from a mountain with 6 nukes in his throat and a fighter's spirit in his fists. He sees the 2 kaiju, cracks his knuckles, and goes to work. There is very little to say about this beyond just, this is my fucking guy. He's confident and he's got the moves to match. He tears off the flying one's wings and then sits back cheering on the Yeti to beat the one that had wings. And when it doesn't win, Red King just kind of like, gotta do everything myself, gets up and gets back to work. It's fantastic. My king, Boromir voice. Then a worthy rival shows up, Ultraman himself. Meanwhile, Ide is no Serizawa. He does not hesitate to deploy his new super weapon against the giant Yeti. From the VTOL, him and Arashi deploy the Drought Bomb and obliterate the Yeti. Like, it just explodes. It's brutal. Ultraman and Red King are having a proper fight. Red King is like straight up boxing. I love him. Ultraman is having so much trouble that he has to cheat. He uses telekinesis to hold Red King still and then throws Destructo discs at him, cutting him into 3 pieces.
Because he could always do that.
He could always do that. Ultraman carries the head and neck into space, where the nukes safely explode. Back at base, the squad receives the news that the comet will return in over 1,000 years, and this time it won't miss the Earth. Muramatsu says that by then, there will be the technology to deal with it, and in the meantime, humanity will have to learn not to destroy itself. The end.
I love that he follows that up by being like, Fuji, give me some coffee. Actually, I want delicious coffee. I'll get it myself. And it's
yes!
like, well...
Because she does the... So they have doubled up on this salt gag, because Ide did it back in the day, because he can't make coffee good like woman can. But now they've revealed, woman can't make coffee.
Just the 1-2 punch of Muratsu being like, I believe in the human spirit to get over our fighting and to come together for an existential threat, and then just immediately put down the woman working for him was just
He's
like, oh my
I
god.
believe in mankind specifically.
I didn't say nothing about womankind.
It was just like, oh my god, that, like, to the point that I was, in the moment, I was like, was that, like, specifically done to highlight? And I was like, no, I'm thinking too hard about this. I am thinking too hard about this. They just wanted to end on a gag, and it undermined their point, and they did not know it.
It's so stupid. Also, the rest of this episode is just a fucking mess.
The first half is like incoherent.
What the heck? Yeah, what the hell is going on with this comet and 3 different... This is, like... This is the weirdest way to go about contriving an excuse for 3 kaiju to fight.
Yeah.
It's
There is-
really
It's
odd.
so much more complicated than it needs to be.
They could have just
I
could have went to a Monster Anarchy zone.
Yes!
that it feels like they were like, oh fuck, that was cool, we gotta do that again.
They even got Red King back.
True. This time in the Japanese Alps, which turns out to exist, and that's why the Alpinists are there.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
The actual good bit of this episode is Red King, who is just the best. He's just having a great time. Whoever is in this suit is also having a great time.
Yeah.
Gotta be. It's fantastic. It's like he's a fucking pro wrestler. It's wild. I'm so glad that they've done this. They've been like, what if we made one of our guys just like an actual heel?
I don't know how I felt about the Yeti and whatever the fuck that dragonfly thing was supposed to be, like, suit-wise.
Yeah.
The dragonfly one, I feel like the wings look cool, but then, like, when they're actually moving around, it's like, oh, they did not have, like it just does not look like they have the structure they need. And also, on the opposite side, I feel like maybe their Yeti has too much structure. Every time they close up on his head, it's like, oh, this feels like it has no flexibility or, like, can organically stretch at all. It's so rock solid.
Also, like,
Red King looks good, though.
The Yeti one,
It's the Dragonfly guy is Durako,
Durako,
who was in Red Man last week.
Oh, yes, but without wings?
Yeah. I don't know. Everyone in Red Man was weird. And the Yeti is a Guigas, not to be confused with the villain from the Mother franchise.
I will say, because I think the first time we saw Red King, I was like, oh, it feels like they're struggling with the long neck a bit. I think it looked a lot better this time.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't, like, crumpling.
Yeah, every time he like put his head in his hands or like slapped his neck to like get himself in the mood, I was like, this is the best. He's cool.
But yeah, we didn't get into much because it is not worth talking about much. But the first half of the episode sure is like, the asteroid is coming. We are worried. Actually, we are not that worried. Actually, everyone has to go in shelter, and he just sees some people in shelter for a bit. And then one guy dances in the street when everything's okay.
The guys in the shelter explain lore that they somehow know about the meteor, and it's like, what about the comet? It's like, what are you talking about? Why do you know that? And
I think it was framed as like a rumor that just happened to be correct.
Yeah, and it's kind of rough. It's rough around the edges. It's just like it's dunking on Fuji again, so I feel bad about finding it funny. But it is funny when they're like, "Oh, the comet's gonna miss Earth. It's gonna pass within like 30,000 miles," and Fuji's like, "Oh, we're fine then." And someone like Hayata is like, "No, in space that's fucking nothing." And she's like, "Oh yeah."
I enjoy the fact that we now know that Ide has a hydrogen bomb detector, and it's like, why'd you make that? What do you got cooking, buddy?
He's route to Jamila.
Yeah. He's on his way. He's coming home. It's gonna happen.
Fucking like Hathaway opening James Bond song to like pictures of gathering hydrogen. Can never forgive. That's how it always is with victims, Ayata. Only the words are elegant.
Arashi's gonna be his Galman.
I need this so bad. Ide's counterattack.
Oh no.
Gonna create a world where no more Jimilas need to exist.
Yeah, this is gonna be fantastic. I can't wait.
So, like, here's the thing.
Super Raya Productions, please put me in touch with a translator and also a production team. We're gonna make Ide's counterattack.
I trust that we will get to some point in this franchise where something adjacent to, like, this idea will happen of, like, a villain who was, like, a monster fighter who is now too right about the systems being corrupt, and I cannot wait to get there. I feel like every long-running series has to rub up against that eventually. We'll see. But
yeah, it'll be great. I can't. The Hayata, the very end of this episode is like Hayata running through the snow-covered mountains, as they point down to him from the VTOL, and I'm thinking about like the beginning of our third episode where we're reintroducing the conflict of what happens. I just can't. The Hayata just being like an empty vessel where you know, for Ultraman is I think he could be a guy. Like you could have him be more like, you could give him some Ide stuff. Some of the stuff that
I have
Ide's
good
been
news for
having.
the future, at least. But yeah.
Oh, yay. Nice.
I
don't know why that came out like that. Yes, I had assumed that.
I'm just reassuring you, their future protagonists are guys in ways Hayata has not been.
yeah. Some men become a weird alien hybrid superhero and make it their entire personalities.
Yeah. God, Hayata. Get a fucking hobby.
Nerd.
Yeah.
Him walking in, hey, wouldn't it be funny if I was Ultraman anyway? Everyone I can't, I have to wait for the third episode to get into this. Everyone knows he's Ultraman.
Like, this one in particular was just like the most, him seeing a 3 monster beatdown and going, all right, I'm gonna get that one away from everyone else. And then he just runs off alone, and it's like, okay, but
Runs really far
everyone has
into
to know.
It's so good. Yeah, the fight's alright. Ultraman cheats. Ultraman invents a new move. He freezes him in the air. And then does like two discs at the same time. And they continue to do the disc attack continues to be the funniest attack because of how the monsters come apart. It's so good. They just like fling the pieces.
The image
apart.
of him chopping him in 3 parts and then the head flying into his arms and then him flying away is so fucking funny.
It's fantastic. And when someone's just like, there's been an explosion in space, and it's like, they're really cavalier about just blowing up nukes, just like a little bit out of orbit, and it's fine.
I do think that one thing I have felt, and this really made me pinpoint my thoughts on this. So, again, similar to that episode where Ultraman's just like, oh yeah, I can fucking teleport. The way they frame the new powers when they come up is just, it always feels like, oh, fucking, why weren't you doing this before, buddy? Like, it never feels like a cool grand reveal of, oh, Ultraman is more capable than we even knew. And I feel like there's a way that they could lean into, like, the alien nature of all that and being like, oh, geez, like, you know, kind of Ideon style, like, we don't know what the fuck we're dealing with here. And instead it just feels like
Ultraman was the fucking legendary giant Ideon. Oh my god.
But like instead it just feels like, oh, he can do this now. Cool. It never really lands for me.
Is Muramatsu best?
Muramatsu is best, which means imagine if Cosmo could transform into the Ideon and was keeping it a secret.
Imagine if Fuji was Cheryl Formosa.
Oh my god! We've actually hit on the real shit. We need to replace Fuji with Cheryl immediately.
She holds up Hoshino as a sacrifice.
Yes! Oh my god!
Jolliver and Ide should hang out.
Yes. Oh my god. this is... Yeah, we stumbled into a better show, unfortunately.
Oh no, I'm getting a notification on my phone that the air quality in my city is bad. If I die halfway through this recording,
I'll not to blame the air quality in your city.
I'll blame it on the comment.
And you two can have my stuff.
YouTube can have your stuff.
YouTube,
us
not
too.
YouTube. I'm not giving them shit.
I was very confused.
So
they've taken enough of my life, Fred.
Can I get the MVC cabinet?
Yeah, sure.
Awesome.
This was an Ijima episode. It was like I feel like this is like
not the best.
Okay, but like okay, leaning like eh.
Who wrote it?
I keep forgetting to grab the fucking writers.
You got to do the writers.
I know. Let me see if I can track that down real fast. Was this episode 24?
25?
25. It was 25. Here. This was written by Bunzo Wakatsuki.
Okay.
I cannot find any. There's no link here.
We should maybe on the spreadsheet make the writer-director compendium in some point.
Yeah, I can get working on that this week.
Yeah.
This would be a good week for me to do that, finally.
Yeah.
Nice. Do we have anything more about episode 25 of
I
Ultraman?
have one last thing I need to bring up.
Ooh. Go ahead.
So in this episode, Hoshino shows up. Which...
Wait, when?
To be honest, not really remarkable, because he just shows up and says nothing, and is not important. But I feel like I need to commemorate it, because something that...
Hoshino, it's an event.
Something that I was made aware of at some point that I figure I may as well bring up now, rather than having it be a mystery to all of us as the show goes on.
Okay.
At some point, Hoshino's actor gets in a skiing accident and breaks his leg and stops being in the show, and this is his last episode.
Oh no!
Oh no!
That's
rough, buddy.
Don't ski.
That's true. That's true. Don't ski.
Don't. Everything I hear about skiing, the only time I hear about it is people having accidents. Don't ski.
Yeah, snowboard instead.
What's Camille's thing in the Discord? Skiing and helicopters, two things rich people should know to stay away from.
Actually, if it's rich people, they should probably do it more.
Well, yeah, actually, yeah, fair play. Hoshino, stay away from the skis. Rich people, you know what to do.
But yeah,
get to the Alps immediately.
So long, Hoshino. Curious to see.
So long, Hoshino. We got a new kid.
Fuck
you.
Yeah, curious to see how they'll weigh down Fuji's character now when he's gone. I'm sure they'll.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's true.
Maybe she's free now.
Maybe they'll know how to write women, like they did.
Nope.
A few months earlier.
Nope.
In a different show.
Nope. They've forgotten.
Ultraman about to go on its child-free arc.
I was considering making a child-free arc. Oh man, it's gonna be doing absolutely like just murderous tweets about babies crying in planes. All right.
Well, you know it isn't child-free. The next episode of Ultraman.
Yeah,
the next two.
Segue. Let me tell you about episode 26 of Ultraman, The Prince of Monsters, Part 1. Monster enthusiast and... Wait, okay. Fucking word it like this! Why did I fucking word it like that?
Also, I want to say the subs for the Blu-ray call this the Monster Highness. Like the
Monster
title.
Highness?
Yeah,
Oh
like
my
the
God.
title. I
That's
kind of
amazing.
like Prince of Monsters more, I think, but
Anyway, the reason I laughed is because my wording for the first sentence here is ridiculous. Monster enthusiast and child Osamu is mocked for being too into kaiju despite the fact they don't exist. Pause. What the fuck kind of media suppression game are the SSSP on?
Especially when
these kids can be talking about how kaiju don't exist.
This is wild, yeah.
Especially when, like, a few episodes ago we had kids who were very aware that kaiju are real.
Yes. They got British libel laws over there or something. What's going on? Muramatsu got the super injunction, and I'm going to jail for even saying that. Anyway, Osamu is excited about an expedition to a Johnson Island right now, where researchers hope to find the kaiju Gomora. You know what that means? The return of the Pith Helmet. Briefly.
Sure does.
Arashi accompanies the expedition as an arm. Well, I say briefly. Spiritually, the Pith Helmet will remain throughout these next 2 episodes. But briefly, literally, there is a Pith Helmet on screen. I was like, yeah.
Also, the Vine Monster from the Anarchy Zone.
Yes, the Vine Monster from the Anarchy Zone comes back to prove Arashi is useful. Arashi accompanies the expedition as an armed escort, and when they finally encounter Gomora, Dr. Nakaya, the man in charge of the expedition, stops Arashi from shooting, which really offends Arashi for a second. He's like, this is what I do. What are you doing? Get off me. But Dr. Nakaya insists that they should catch Gomora alive and present it at the World Fair. King Kong is here. Osamu is vindicated at school as the newspapers publish photos of Gomora. Meanwhile, the SSSP makes their plans to transport the kaiju to Osaka. Arashi tranquilizes Gomora using anesthetic bombs from America, which is a really dark detail. And then with 3 VTOLs, the squad airlifts Gomora. Osamu leads a group of kids to the site where Gomora will be dropped off and sneak around some guards to get a closer look. There's a moment where... there's a moment here where Fuji arrives and the kids gawk at the SSSP car, which means it's finally time to talk about something that we somehow haven't yet. It's just a car. It just has a logo painted on the side. It's just a normal car. It's not... there's nothing special about it.
The science car.
It's a science car. It's just a regular grey car. There's nothing going on. Anyway, Gomora wakes up early, and the squad are forced to drop it off early, and everyone marvels at the fact it survived the fall. The squad and the SDF fire on Gomora in a really, presumably, expensive sequence, while Hayata rescues Osamu and takes him back to his home. Gomora escapes the attacks by burrowing underground, and the squad sets up in Osaka, ready to respond when Gomora next emerges. Osamu is wearing an Ultraman mask and playing with a friend when Gomora emerges nearby. His friend flees, but Osamu hides and calls out for Ultraman. Ultraman arrives and gets his ass kicked by Gomora so hard he drops the beta capsule. In particular, he has real problems with Gomora's tail. The color timer starts to run out and Gomora burrows back underground before Ultraman can fire the Spacium beam. So Ultraman is forced to fly away without having beaten the kaiju. Osamu retrieves the beta capsule and yells Ultraman to the sky. The end. So Ultraman takes an L.
He does.
Yeah.
For the first time. And as is demonstrated next week, he would continue to take the L's unless someone else intervened. But yeah, Gomora itself is cool. I like the horns, the kind of like a big like half moon type horns on its head. We're doing King Kong. King Kong. We're retrieving the wild monster from the Pacific Island jungle and taking it back to show it off to quote unquote civilization at the World Fair
for science.
Yeah, for science. And it's I don't know that it's like super about that. It's just kind of like running through the steps.
Yeah.
It's not, because it's not like we had the episode with the flower which a really cool version of this, where the flower then it proceeded to murder all the people that stole it from its homeland. But what we do have this episode is very expensive shots of firing fireworks at Gomorrah for minutes on end. Yeah.
So this was a Hajime Tsuburaya episode along with the next one.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like you can tell, like, he is very, like, traditional, like, hero story person, I feel, every time we see an episode from him. The writer for this was Tetsuo Kinjo, who we've talked about before, for doing, like, episodes such as Goro and Goro, Baron Spider, Challenge from the Year 2020, bunch of stuff.
There are some bangers on that list.
Absolutely. There's also Fury of the South Sea.
I've run into the exact same thing that I did in the first episode of Ultra.
But also Garamond Strikes Back, so, like, you know, fucking...
Yeah.
This is how it happens. And then also the similar... This was also had a writing credit for Bunzo Wakatsuki, who, as far as I can tell, is mostly just, like, doing, like, Ultraman stuff, and then also, I think, helped out with, like, Mirror Man.
Okay.
But yeah, this is just a solid, like, you know...
Yeah.
Hero fights and gets, you know, bites off a little bit more than he can chew, which I'm happy we finally, like... I'm happy Ultraman took an L. It would have been kind of boring if all the way through he just steamrolled these guys.
Yeah, we got an actual part 2. 2-parter.
Yeah.
And
I feel like...
the capsule has been lost.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like more of what I have to say might just be carried over into the next episode.
Yeah,
this is true.
There's more going on in the next one.
Just because I feel like the full consequences of removing this creature from its island and just dropping it in Japan becomes more apparent in the next episode.
This is true.
And then just like the fact that they barely touch upon, oh, it's my fault. Anyway, don't talk like that.
Yeah. The one other thing about this episode before we move on that I didn't write down, I realize I do want to set up, is Osamu has the most absent dad in the world, because he literally asks the question, oh, so Osamu's at school now. What? You do what? You don't know he goes to school? Incredible. Ridiculous. I say this because his dad is a very important part of my summary for the next episode, because regardless of how much he sucks, he does say the most, like, I was just like, damn, go off, King. All right. Ultraman episode 27, The Prince of Monsters part 2. Ultraman has been defeated. Osamu has the beta capsule, and Gomorrah is still on the loose. Ultraman does the fucking Hayata teleport thing again to transform back into Hayata, meaning the show didn't change its mind. We just genuinely have two competing versions of what happens to Hayata's body when he transforms into Ultraman. Amazing. Anyway, the squad have to act. Muramatsu gives his orders. Hayata, go pick up all the sick weapons we got back at base. Sorry, I have to take a drink. Okay. Ide, build a tracking device we can shoot into Gomorrah next time it appears. And Arashi, you get to use the megaphone. Go tell people to evacuate.
He's very enthusiastic about it.
He is. He's really... I get to use the megaphone. Osamu's mum wants to evacuate, and his dad is like, no one knows where in Osaka Gomorrah is going to appear, so the idea that a shelter is safer from the giant burrowing monster than this apartment seems kind of fake. I'm going to sit here and enjoy a cigarette in the comfort of my own home, and if we die, we die. Isn't that right, Osamu? And Osamu is wearing a Gamora mask. What a family.
Also notice he's just like working on his fishing rod the entire time.
Yes. He just doesn't care. He's just like, well, wherever we go, that might be where Gamora shows up. That'd suck. So I'm going to stay here. Which clearly this guy makes his wife do everything and doesn't know anything about his son, but just this one time I'm gonna give him this dub. Meanwhile, Gamora has reappeared and the squad and the SDF engage once again. This time using their full arsenal, the squad managed to sever Gamora's tail and are rewarded with the Drake Sword. Hayata sneaks off to transform into Ultraman, reaches into his pocket, and wait a second. The beta capsule isn't there. Oh, fuck.
Uh-oh.
That's not good.
I need a personality now. Oh, no.
Arashi shoots the tracking device into Gamora just before it burrows away again, and the squad can now track its movements. It's heading east, straight for Osaka Castle. Osamu determines to give the beta capsule back to Ultraman and sneaks off while his parents are arguing. He finds a couple cops, and one of them hears Osamu's story and is like, yeah, sure, hop in the car, kid. I'll drive you over to the SSSP. Kids are honest. The squad extremely fail to protect Osaka Castle, which Gamora completely destroys. And then Osamu finds Hayata, gives him the beta capsule. Hayata finds a quiet spot, transforms for the rematch, and this time Gamora doesn't have a tail, so Ultraman has a much easier time. He tears off one of Gamora's horns and kills it with the Spacium beam. Ide, Arashi, and Osamu observe the corpse of Gamora and find it pitiful. Ide says that Osaka Castle was a relic of 500 years, but Gamora was a relic of 50 million, and suggests that the body be presented at the World Fair. Arashi, being an idiot, agrees that this is a nice idea and not at all grim. Hayata personally thanks Osamu for saving the day and presents him with his communicator, telling him to keep it a secret. Flying away in the VTOL, Hayata uses the communicator, saying, Hayata to Prince, and urging Osamu not to be too obsessed with monsters and make sure he studies hard. Osamu says, yeah, sure, I'm studying right now, actually, as he draws a crayon picture of Ultraman fighting Gamora at Osaka Castle. The end. Osamu's a good kid. He's all right.
Yeah.
He does a decent job. So, displaying the corpse of Gamora at the World Fair. Opinions?
Not a fan.
I will just say, you take a large animal, ancient animal even, out of its habitat to be put on display at the World Fair for science.
For science.
Drop it off like a fucking rock in Japan and just have it rampage in a major city and destroy a cultural heritage site.
Mm-hmm.
And then be like, then you kill it and then go, well, we'll honor it by displaying its corpse. Excuse me. What the fuck? What the fuck is this?
Extreme lack of recognition of how much they fucked up.
There, in death, there is no. When I die of this poor air quality, there is no greater honor than like being charged like $10 to gain entry for the premium experience of seeing my corpse.
Yeah.
Sagem air quality will it kill?
Yeah. I'm throwing rock. Sorry, Razan.
No.
Yeah, it's like on the level of like me knowing that this is evil and knowing that Ultraman is kind of biblically evil. I'm kind of like I'm having an alright time when the show is just evil like this.
The SSSP is just an evil organization, I guess.
Yeah, it's Ichino Tani levels of evil, which is like, it would be nice if they weren't. It would be nice if we had more of Ide being like, damn, this is evil. Remember when I was the guy that thought that maybe this organization was evil, and I should betray it.
I know I said this literally the last time we talked about episodes, but the conflicting visions of what this show is has never been more apparent between the Jisoji,
Yes.
I this is horrible, and the Tsuburaya, we beat up the monster, we need to honor its legacy by showing it off at the World Fair. And like, I think they're both good episodes.
Did Tsuburaya
Yeah.
do the dragon or the mummy?
I think Nonagase did the mummy episode,
Okay.
but I could be, let me look it up.
I will also say, just because, I sped rewatched it recently, this is definitely better than the fight at Osaka in Godzilla Raids Again.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cry of the Mummy was in fact Hajime Tsuburaya. You were right. I was wrong.
Okay.
For some
Yeah,
reason
so
I thought it was
cinematic
Nonagase.
parallels.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I think Hayata awarding this kid a little badge of honor at the end there is like reaching levels of personality for Hayata previously not thought possible.
Yeah.
He's just like he's nice hero guy, but like it's something that just hasn't really been there. He's just been kind of like, am I Ultraman? Oh, maybe I am. Who knows? Everyone knows. Everyone knows he's Ultraman. Hayata comes to find him to give him Ultraman's beta capsule, which must be important to Ultraman. Osamu's like, hey, I think this is important to Ultraman, so I should probably give it to you.
I have 4 notes I wrote for these 2 series of episodes. 1, I was kind of a plant hater the first time around. I actually think again, this is a previous episode technically, but I think I didn't really care for the Monster Anarchy Zone episode that much, which is weird because I feel like the more I hear about it, that seems to be like a fan favorite of Ultraman. I just don't see it. Yeah. But like both like this batch of episodes, both Red King reappearing again, and then also these like plant arms reappearing, I think they both look a lot better since then. The other thing I have is there's a point where I think it's when Hayata shoots the tail off, where he like braces his gun on like Arashi's shoulder, and I'm like, don't do that.
I saw Mel also mentioned
that was
this.
pretty dangerous.
Yeah.
What are you doing, man?
The tail thrashing through the city was kind of cool.
The tail,
was.
yeah, that was my third note. Tail thrashing through the city, fucking rules. 4th, you could not pay me enough money to be in a monster suit like that with my ass on fire. Terrifying. I was freaking the fuck out, like, vicariously. Jesus Christ.
The dedication.
Yeah.
And
no kidding.
or not the safest workplace in the world.
No. First of all, that must be hot as hell. Those suits I already imagine are hot as hell. Literally being on fire in the suit sounds like torture.
This is now, obviously, I assume that there were improvements made to the suits since the original Godzilla, but the one trivia, and I've mentioned this on the podcast before, the one trivia that everyone whips out about the suit in Godzilla is, hey, you know that guy kept fainting in there because it was too fucking hot?
Yeah. And, like,
So,
I'm sure that
brutal.
tail, when it's on fire, they probably have some material to keep it from spreading, like, obviously, to the rest of it, but, like...
But fire's
Jesus.
fucking hot.
It's fire, and also, you're whipping it around, and, like, you're whipping it around on a set with, like, other shit around. Like, there's a bunch of, like, fake build... Like, it just seemed like I would not... You could not pay me enough money to do that.
People really underestimate how fucking hot fire is, which I realize is a very strange thing to say, but they really do. It's like, you know, you went to a live concert once, and you know they shot jets of fire into the sky, and I wasn't anywhere near the fucking fire. I could feel it. It was fucking hot.
Yeah,
because fire's hot.
I witnessed a simulated bombing run one time. And,
what?
It's a whole thing.
Okay.
There's an aviation expo thing around here
okay.
that's like big, and they do I don't know if they do it anymore, but they do a simulated bombing run, and like the wave of heat. Basically, what it is they just have like explosives on like the ground and like a thing that nobody can obviously get near, and then like a plane flies over and then it blows up in sequence. So like you get to kind of see what it looks like. But like the blast from that. Holy shit, set off car alarms. You can, like, feel the pushback. 2, you feel the heat. It's, like, it's wild.
Yeah.
Fire is hot. Ultra Q with the...
Did you know? Fire is hot. I was fucking, what, like, grass gym leader or whatever. Like, bro, you fucking heard about fire? I don't know if they have fucking grass gyms in Pokemon. Presumably they do.
Yes, they have to. I don't know why I said that like I was so offended. I'm not even a Pokemon person. But
there's several.
Yeah.
I've literally never played a Pokemon in my life. I googled grass gym and it's not about Pokemon. It's artificial grass for gyms, synthetic turf at your gym.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I like this 2-parter. It's like, traditional in the classic Hajime Tsuburaya way, but it's fun.
Yeah. There's it's all good. It's a good time. When they are shooting fireworks at a guy in a suit who's presumably could be paid more. I'm having a good time.
Yeah. I did like the part in the last episode where Osamu returns home and was like, "Hey, I saw Gumroad. It was cool. Hey, Mom, I'm back home." And then it immediately cuts to Gumroad being exploded by fireworks.
Yes. It's so funny.
For like a whole minute.
God, yeah. Shout-outs to that dad being like, a monster's no reason to evacuate your home. And it's like,
he's just chilling.
He's like...
I disagree.
They don't let me smoke at the shelter. I'm staying here.
He's like... looking forward to being saved by man, because if he was Ultraman, he'd be fishing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that is Ultraman, episode 27, The Prince of Monsters, part 2. Ultraman, in the end, did not keep the L. He did not hold the L. He gave it back, because he's, entitled. But do we have color timers for these episodes?
Yeah. Episode 25 is 2 minutes 27 seconds. Episode 26 is 3 minutes 3 seconds. Episode 27 is 2 minutes 45 seconds.
Nice. Pretty close this time around.
Yeah. Although, yeah, Ultraman runs it down to the wire in the second episode. All right. Well, unless we have anything more to say about Ultraman, that might be a podcast. We took 2 weeks off, so we had quite a bit to talk about. I'll go straight into plugs, I guess. Yeah. I've forgotten. It's been 2 weeks. I've forgotten how podcast works. You can follow the podcast at ultra_q on Twitter. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm at gender_redacted. At November on co-host. I haven't posted there in a while though because I am stupid. Mel.
Twitter at Dear Crowns. Podcast email ultraqpod@gmail.com.
Yeah. And Razin.
You can find me at Razenbran. Also, you can probably find me lurking the lobbies of Street Fighter 6 and the rest of the summer. But I do want to before next Saturday I want to get up at least 2 videos vlogging, like with all the vlog stuff I recorded for the Combo Breaker experience, because It was a fun time, and I recorded some fun stuff, especially at Galloping Ghost. You can hear us fumbling around the Castlevania light gun setup and trying to figure out, since we had 3 people, what we were going to do, and my friend Johnson staring me in the face and going, "Do you want to have fun or make content?"
Nice.
But yeah.
I just want to leave off on one important note, because as I mentioned before, Cure Butterfly debuted in Hero Sky Precure, and apparently her Hummer is in her transformation and finisher effects.
Oh, I am not gonna look. I haven't watched the episode yet.
Okay, my bad.
No worries. I will see it. I'm not worried about Hero Sky Precure spoilers. Don't worry. I'm just not gonna look. I'm gonna see it with my eyes. I believe it's cool.
I didn't realize when I watched earlier, but it's funny. It's good.
Nice.
She loves her car. She calls it.
She loves her car. She loves her terrible car.
Excuse you.
She got a fucking Hummer. What's going on? Ridiculous.
You're own a Hummer.
Sometimes you just want to fucking use as much fuel as possible to get to point A to point B, you know?
It's so funny that first Precure to own a Hummer is maybe more iconic than first Precure to be an adult. It's ridiculous. Anyway, I think we can safely say that the podcast is over. Join us next time for episode 28, 29, and 30.
God,
big 3-0.
We're in it. We're past where Ultra Q ended, right?
Ultra Q ended at 28. So next week.
28. Okay. We will be past where Ultra Q ended.
We got 4 weeks left.
Yeah. God damn.
Send in your emails.
Something mentioned last week. Are you on the Red Man bonus episode was like the whole reveal about the last episode of Ultra Q coming in between Ultraman episodes, which at the time we felt like was maybe unfair to Ultraman, but seeing the 2 episodes that the train episode was stuck between, we're like, no, this is unfair to Ultra Q. This is so mean.
It was very unfair to that episode of Ultra Q.
It was so funny. I was like, oh damn, no, reversal. This is speaking of Naruto, reverse situation. Alright. Well, that is an episode. Goodbye. We'll see you next time.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
心はどこへと向かうの楽しくしてても悲しくなる消えてしまいたいよ何が本当で何が嘘か操られてるこの世界書きかけのノートに言えない想い溢れている無邪気な心が繰り返し叫ぶ声が僕を呼ぶから誰もきっと一人じゃ寂しい生き物さつながっていたいのさ大切な君を守るそんな願いが今力に変わるよたとえ時代が手と手つなぎ合うことさえと多い記憶にしても僕たちは分かっている交わす想いが運命さえ塗り替えることを一つ分かるたび一つなくすこぼれてゆく自由何にも知らないあの日のまま笑い合えたらいいのにね時間さえ忘れて君とちゃんと話がしたいリセットできない時の矢が向かう場所に待つものは何明日がどんなフォルムを描き出したってほで受け止める一人じゃつかめない本当
can't know.
その笑顔曇る夜は僕が光に変わるよ伝え合う奇跡を信じて